Bailout attempts coming to the housing market. Hey everybody, Scott Walters, buckle up, strap in. I got a hard-hitting, pull no punches, no sugarcoating, no rainbows, no sunshine. I'm just going to give it to you and give it to you straight. We got a good one to unpackage today. Buckle up, strap in, hold on to your hats and your glasses as we blow the lid off the U.S. economy and the U.S. housing market. Why, you ask? Because they're tied together. Lose one, you lose the other, my friends. It's like a vacuum. Housing market goes, the economy goes along for the ride. Economy goes, housing market goes along for the ride. Throw the dart at the economic challenge map. We're hitting something threatening each of them as we speak. It's so hard to keep up with all the news. I mean, my gosh, where do we start? Political, financial, social. Everything's being attacked. Courtesy of what? Courtesy of what, you ask? Of course, I'm going to tell you. Crisis. All comes back to the crisis. We overheated not only the biggest economy in the world with the money dump, we overheated the biggest asset class in the world, the U.S. housing market. Biggest asset class in the world. How do we do that? Yes, well, of course, I'm going to tell you again. Real estate agents, you're now essential workers. Real estate agents, you can go sell houses with certain protocol. Just use some sanitizers and one-on-one showings, and we're going to drop interest rates, create this great new thing we called FOMO. Oh, and the bubble builders, the home builders, the investors that piled in, drank that Kool-Aid. It was utopia. It was going to be the brave new world. Well, unfortunately, it was built on quicksand. If you don't have a solid foundation in which anything was built, your life, your finances, anything, it's going to crumble. It was built on quicksand, very short. So you would think leadership, who are supposedly the most brilliant people elected to office, would know this isn't going to end well. Well, maybe they did, Scott. Maybe this was all some big orchestrated pandemic being ushered in so we could roll out the new digital dollar, do away with the new cashless. Well, it's headed that direction. I think that's probably more the most realistic scenario. I think you would all agree, at least the majority of people here watching the show. But the realities are this, friends. Today we're going to talk about, because it all comes down to the housing market. Everything hinges on the U.S. housing market. If and when we lose it, we'll lose everything. And the realities are this, friends. We've always lost it. Booms and busts throughout history. We've always, the Great Depression, the Great Recession, we've always had them. So somehow this time was supposed to be different, and that's what people wanted to tell us, didn't they? This time is different. The loans are stronger. People have low interest rates. Supply and demand, date the rate, marry the house, time in the market, not timing. All these cute little fuzzy catchphrases to make you feel confident in playing in the biggest bubble ever produced in world history because people drank the Kool-Aid and they have financial gain in these markets. That's what it comes down to, my friends, at least for me. And like I said, I know for many of you, if you're new, please subscribe. Subscribe right away. Never been a more important time in history to get centered and surrounded with like-minded people. Iron will sharpen iron. We're sharpening some iron today. Why? Because we're going to be forward-thinking, critical thinking, and start playing out some of the scenarios that we can expect moving forward. So if and when they hit, we're not a deer in the headlights, paralyzed by fear, reverse FOMO herd mentality, rearing its ugly head once again, instead of following each other off a cliff into overpaying and getting into bidding wars for houses, afraid, stuck on the sidelines forever. So how it goes, herd mentality, follow leader, monkey see, monkey do. It's very important to stay centered and surrounded. It's just very, very important, in my opinion. Insanity, the stuff that we unpackage. So today I'm going to go ahead and unpackage what I believe we can expect. A realistic scenario as a level-headed realist. That's all our jobs are. Just to be a level-headed realist and understand the waters we're swimming in. Don't acknowledge the elephant in the room. Don't ignore the clear and present dangers. The perfect storm that's been created. The runaway train. The two-headed monster that's out of its cage. Leadership doesn't know how to put it back in. Smoke and mirrors. Band-aids on shotgun blast. Runaway inflation in a risen interest rate environment. Bad recipe for disaster, my friends. They're ushering in something on us. But the realities are this, friends. We're going to monitor and heat map because real estate's the path to wealth. It's where 90% of all millionaires made their money. So, of course, we're ultra interested in real estate. But when you start ushering in, 40-year mortgages and homes for everybody, and everybody deserves a home, it's not good. It's not good. Everybody doesn't deserve to own a home, or everybody would. But they want somehow people think that everybody should be entitled to a home. It's like when your kid gets his driver's license and he expects a brand new car. No. Anybody that buys their kid a brand new car just because they asked for it and got their driver's license, they don't even have a job, a way to put their own gas in the car. I think that's entitlement. I don't think my kids don't. I didn't come up that way. My dad, when I was 16, he's like, I'm like, Dad, I think I'm turning 16, and I know my brothers, they had jobs, Scott. Where's your job? You can't do it on a paper route. You need a job. Well, I'm only 15 and a half, Dad. You got to be 16 to legally work. Well, I don't know, Rod and Mark. They got their jobs. They worked at the gas station. Scott, go figure it out. I went down to the Bob's Big Boy, started bussing tables. 15 and a half, I found my way in there, and Dad, guess who got a job? I didn't get a brand new truck. Some beater. Entitlement. People feel entitled. That is not, you got to earn your wealth. That's why on this channel, you've heard me say many things, I'm sure. But number one thing, you're not going to get rich owning your house. Let me just be the first one to break that news. You might earn a little equity. You might build some wealth, but you're not going to get rich. You can get rich owning other people's houses. If you're willing to sacrifice, now live in a cracker box temporarily and stack up just a couple income properties, get a partner or two if you have to, that's what you have to be willing to do. But people aren't willing to do that. No, I want a 40-year loan. I want a I want a mortgage forbearance. I want this. I want that. I want that. We've all heard the stories. People hit the lottery, but worse off after hitting it than they were before. It happens all the time. Unless you earn your wealth, you're not going to know how to we won't know how to handle our wealth. Insanity. Scary thing we're going to talk about right now. In the last housing bubble, the '08 era, which everybody likes to pull from, why not? It was the most recent one that some of us actually lived through and rose from the ashes from. Qualified to speak about it. Not some kid living in a college dorm room that now is an internet sensation telling you how to invest your money. No. Somebody's I see some of these kids, man. Whoo-wee. They're going to learn some important lessons too. The bigger you grow, the harder you may fall, my friends. And while I don't want to see any, I want to see them all be well-adjusted young people, future leaders of our country. I'm not sure YouTube sensation is going to be geared to do that. Maybe. Have to wait and see. In the last bubble, we had some bailouts. I don't know about you guys, but it seems like bailouts are around the corner. In fact, I'm pretty sure I saw a bank just receive one. And I'm pretty sure there's all kinds of new programs, like we talked about, designed to prop up this artificial economy that was built on quicksand, that overheated to levels that aren't going to be able to sustain itself. And now we're ushering in a recession on purpose to fight inflation. I'm pretty sure that's the waters we're swimming in now. So in the last bubble, we had the loan modification program. If you're struggling with your mortgage in the recession, friends, we have a loan modification program you can apply for. You can apply for a loan modification, not loan forbearance, not mortgage forbearance, stop making your payment. No, although this go around, we could see it. But my point is this. Loan mods. Loan mods were ushered in, and a bunch of people fell for the bait, and a lot of companies were designed to help you get into that loan mod. But if you weren't behind on your payments, you couldn't qualify. You had to show you were behind. So a lot of people were current with their payments, but they saw the writing on their wall. They're like, I'm not going to be able to keep this up. I'm burning through my savings, living on credit cards. Does that sound familiar? As U.S. debt is at an all-time high, and U.S. savings rate is an all-time low. Of course it sounds familiar. People are like, I want a loan mod. And then so these companies, okay, well, in order for the bank to even look at it, you have to be behind on your payment. So you're going to have to not make your next payment or two and three before they're going to let you into a loan mod. And then you got to write a hardship letter and communicate why it is you need this. And you got to prove that you have the ability to at least pay. So if both the spouses are out of work, you're done. But they didn't tell you that. They said, don't worry, we're going to get you a loan mod even though you're screwed right now. When they should have said, call Scott Walters, you need to get on market and try to see if they'll accept a short sale, not a loan mod, because that's what ended up happening. Loan modifications first, short sales next, foreclosures after that. We'll get to that in a second. Whew. So what happened is they were walked into this bait of stop making your payment, but we're going to need you to send the payment, just send to us. This is our fee. So you won't have to pay your mortgage this month, but you're going to pay that to us. And then they were basically taking people's money, and they're like, honey, yeah, we got this company now. They're going to get us into a loan mod. They said we had to be behind on our payments and send us our payment, and they're going to get us a loan mod. And it was just this big failure. It was just a big, for obvious reasons, right? For obvious reasons, it was a failure. For one, the banks, even if they started processing the loan mod, a lot of them didn't make it to the finish line. And then you just got a notice of default saying you've been short paying on your mortgage or not paying it at all. And you need to get caught up or you're going into pre-foreclosure. And that's what ended up happening. So then a lot of people are like, oh crap, well, what do I do now? Well, you could put your house on the market and see if the bank would accept it as a short sale, meaning it's not going to sell for what you owe. Well, that's everybody that bought in the crisis right now. If anybody that bought in the top of this real estate bubble goes to market now, they're not selling for what they paid for, as most areas have gone down. Maybe a select few areas are still teetering on the razor's edge, one hiccup away from being upside down too, but we've monitored most metros now are underwater, right? Dart at a map. You're going to hit an area those bubble buyers are, and that was what happened at the front end of '08. Bubble buyers in that bubble slowly started to drop like flies. So as loan mods were ushered in, it was this new Obama-backed loan mod program to help people. It did it. Watch 99 Homes if you want to see how well loan modifications work. 99 Homes, great movie. For me as a real estate guy, I really find that movie fascinating, and as somebody that lived through the '08 crisis. So loan modifications were something that we tried in the last bubble, didn't work. We had the biggest housing crash on record result anyway. What's going to happen in this bubble? Well, we're going to see some more tactics rolled out because of the social unrest that people will be like, this isn't fair. We've already heard buyer's remorse, people suing their realtor for FOMO, a FOMO lawsuit. I'm suing my realtor because I suffered from Kool-Aid drinking FOMO, Your Honor. And they made me do it. They told me if I didn't do it, that I was going to get beat by somebody else, and I drank the Kool-Aid and suffered from FOMO. Somebody needs to pay. That's the society we're living in now. Crazy. It's like the Wild West out here working in real estate. Are you kidding me? Let me out of this thing. This is insane. But I don't halfway blame people for wanting to blame their agents, because I'm an agent myself, and I don't even like most of the agents I'm seeing out there. They have this grandiose, self-righteous demeanor. And I know that's why a lot of you guys like me. You're like, Scott, I like you because you actually say you put the customer's needs before your own, willing to earn their business later. Well, most of the people I talk, oh yeah, I got to buy right now. If you don't buy right now, interest rates buy. Maybe if you date the rate, marry the house. We're going to do some rate buy down. There's sales training stuff. In final thoughts, I come to you as a friend, as a content creator. Somebody wants to see you not only win in real estate, win in life. Understanding the biggest artificially created housing bubble ever produced in world history isn't going to sustain itself. We're seeing that now. The news doesn't seem to be getting any better. If you're holding on to hope that maybe some kind of utopia bailout, help program, extended mortgage is going to save it, it can't. Nothing can save a housing bubble, especially one of this magnitude, other than that one scary bailout I've talked about before, where the government comes in and offers to buy your house. You want to stay in your house? Fine. We now own it. You don't have to leave. You're making your payment to the government. Government or states will start implementing policy to buy up the homes themselves. I think here in wacky California, they've already talked or starting to initiate first right of refusal on foreclosures. This is a scary new trend in the brave new world. My anticipation, though, is, and I know a lot of others is as well, you cannot save a housing bubble. Anytime the market exhibits bubble behavior, they've crashed 100% of the time. If this one will have to crash. It really happens. What's the cleanup on aisle 3 going to look like in this one? Typically what it takes is a full reset of all the asset classes, especially when they got too euphoric. This one clearly got too euphoric. I want you guys to all be alert right now as you see bailout programs, modification programs, stay in the home programs, any home thing programs that are going to be ushered out, possibly paying mainstream media to promote and get it out there to try to do whatever they can to hold on to this one. I'd be very, very careful about how much I believe anything coming out of leadership or mainstream media at this point. Their job is to collapse the economy and usher in a recession. That's their job, and that's how they're fighting inflation. And right now, as we continue to do bailouts, we're gonna have inflation. It appears like it's looking like now it's gonna be a losing battle, where they're gonna have to do something more drastic, more wacky, something out of left field to try to make this thing work. Our job is gonna be continue to heat map, temperature check it every step of the way, because it's not only what we need, it's in fact what we deserve. If you appreciate the content, I want to humbly ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Social media links in the description of this video if you'd like to contact me there. Along with links to channels I've appeared on I think you might enjoy. If you need help buying or selling real estate here in America, I have the biggest network of top-rated agents in the nation ready to assist you. It'd be our honor and our privilege to do so. Email in the description for you as well. Also, if you're watching from your television set today and you enjoyed this video, I know you're going to love the next video. And there's an easy subscribe icon for your convenience. As always, thank you for your time. Please go make it count today. I'll see you on the next video.